Hey Dad, here's an interesting sentence. People that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Well, that's sound advice, but I have problems with it.
Problems with an S? Multiple problems?
I would say plural problems.
I suppose that's a hint. Well, Daddy has a number of problems with this sentence. If you want to figure it out for yourself, pause the video now.
But don't forget to unpause it and come back to us.
Okay, let's take a closer look at this sentence.
Well, the simple subject is obviously people, and the simple predicate is shouldn't throw.
And stones is clearly the direct object here.
But then we have that live in glass houses.
It's a relative clause. Relative clauses function like adjectives and come immediately after the word they modify. In this case, that live in glass houses modifies people.
Now notice that people is a rather general term, so we don't have commas around the clause. If we name specific people, we would have to set it off with commas. For example, if we said Ludwig Mies van der Rohe and I am Pei, that live in glass houses, shouldn't throw stones.
Why are you confusing things with Ludwig Mies van der Rohe and I am Pei?
Oh, because these guys they're brilliant architects who designed glass houses.
Aha! Did you hear what you just said? They said they are architects who design glass houses. That's one of the problems with our sentence. People are a who and not a that.
So if we go back to our original sentence, we should say people who.
And notice, when we name specific people, the relative clause was non-essential. Now that we are back to the general term, people, we have an essential clause, and the commas have to go.
So, let's look at the parts of speech. People is the noun / subject of the sentence, and then we have the relative clause.
Who is a relative pronoun that functions as the subject of the relative clause. And in every relative clause, you need a verb. In this case, we have live.
Then we have a prepositional phrase that acts as the object of the relative clause. In is a preposition. Glass is an adjective modifying houses, which is the object of the preposition.
Next, should and throw are verbs, but they are negated by the adverb contraction for not.
And finally, we have the direct object noun stones.
But you said we had plural problems.
I think so. It says glass houses. Are we suggesting that people who live in more than one glass house shouldn't throw stones?
No, we were talking about people in general, but they don't all live in one house, so it has to be houses.
Well, no, I think it's clear to say people who live in a glass house.
I don't think this is a grammar issue so much as a perception issue. I think we have a choice on that.
Well, what about stones?
What about it?
Well, are we saying that people in glass houses shouldn't throw multiple stones, or even throwing a single stone is bad?
You're confusing the issue again. We have multiple people living in multiple houses. Naturally, they are not all going to throw the same stone. They're going to throw multiple stones.
Well, you could look at it that way.
I do look at it that way, and so does everyone else.
Well, I'm not even sure that the plural of stone is stones. I mean, some nouns are countable and some are uncountable. Take ice cubes, for example. Ice cubes are countable. I can put 10 ice cubes on a table. However, if the ice cubes melt, they are no longer countable. I cannot say I have 10 water on the table. I just have water on the table.
What does this have to do with stone?
Well, stone can either be countable or not. I could have 3 or 4 stones, but if I had an entire truckload, I would just say I have a load of stone.
Does this have anything to do with our sentence?
I think it seems to follow that if you have an uncountable number of people in an uncountable number of glass houses, they should be throwing stone rather than stones. People who live in a glass house shouldn't throw stone.
Well, that's grammatically correct, but it's my sentence, and I say it should read, people in glass houses that shouldn't throw stones.
Fine, but I think that's confusing.
Confusing? You're the one who makes everything confusing.
No, I'm not making it confusing. Because you have to say what you mean.
And stone
There are a lot of ways to look at these sentences. Maybe you found something we missed.
Or maybe Daddy got something completely wrong.
Or maybe you have a question or a comment or a sentence to challenge us with.
We want to hear from you in the comment section below.
We're not the grammar police. We're just trying to figure this out like everybody else. So be kind to us and to each other.
If you enjoy these videos, be sure to like us, pin us, or tweet us, and don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our other channel, Profs Pop, where we go on cultural and historical adventures.
And there will be more good and well grammar videos coming soon.